Hello everyone, welcome to Woolly Truckle. Every fortnight I'm going to be doing videos showing you all of my crochet projects, all the things I'm working on and how various aspects of my new craft business are progressing. It's taken ages for me to actually get myself sat in front of a camera for you, and that's because I did that thing that we all do sometimes where I just had it in my head that I had to have loads and loads of finished projects, a finished website full of patterns, full of all the things that I want to put on there, without actually realising it takes time to build something up and you have to start from scratch. And I wanted to just start from scratch with you all rather than just have everything finished and then kind of present it to you. So we're going to make a start then, we're going to get going. I'm going to show you the projects that I'm working on at the moment and hopefully what I intend to do with them when they are finished. And believe me, not all of them do I have any intentions for at all yet. I've got them all stacked up behind me here and I'm going to try and link to as much of the wool that I've used as possible. The lighting today is actually, it's quite dark, isn't it? It's quite dark out. Weather's gone a bit cold, but I'm going to try and show you as clearly as possible. Actually, I wonder if this will help if I maybe move in that direction. Maybe that's a bit brighter, I don't know. We'll see what we can do and then hopefully we can get into a better position next time. Okay, so I'm going to start with the project that's in this bag. I don't know if anybody else uses these Wool Warehouse net bags to keep projects in. They're so handy and they come free, don't they, with your orders. So for this project I'm using these enormous balls of Wendy with wool, and I think that colour is fairly accurate the way it's showing up on screen there. It is 20% wool, 80% acrylic, and this is a lovely duck egg blue colour which you can pretty much see, I think, there. And my intention with this is to make, and I've started already, is to make a granny square blanket, because I always like to have a granny square blanket on the go. This is a bit crushed, bless it, because they're really easy to do and they're very therapeutic and I can work on those in front of the television. So it's going to be a huge big granny square blanket, and I'm going to put some of the cream that I've got here that's actually for another project as well. I'm going to edge it in cream and I'm going to do the dreaded picot stitching, which looks amazing. It looks fantastic, it has a really nice vintage quality to it, but it actually is just so difficult to do sometimes. It's fiddly. Not difficult, it's fiddly, that's it, and I get irritated by it, so I can only do tiny little bits of it at a time, but we haven't got to that bit yet. So yeah, so big granny square there, and hopefully next week, or not next week, next fortnight, it will be even bigger and I'll be able to show you the sort of size that I'm aiming for. So these balls of wool are great, they're absolutely enormous. This is what's left. This is just one ball so far, and I'm not going to need more than 2 for it. So again, I'll link in the description to that wool. What else have we got? I have found, okay, so with Woolly Truckle I have got a website sort of started and I've got the channel art for this channel, and I have got a sort of really lovely colour palette for it. I hope you really like it. It's really soft vintage pastel colours that have got quite a lot of almost like a grey smoky kind of quality to them. I'm not quite sure how to describe it, but it's been really tricky actually trying to find some yarn that actually matches in with those colours, but I have found some where I think the colour palette actually works quite well. So it's this here, it's called, where are we? Creative Soft Wool Aran by Rico Design. So that's a nice, obviously smoky grey, and then there's I think 2 or 3 shades of pink that are really lovely, and then this sort of soft green colour, and the blue's not showing up quite so well. Oh, that's better, I think. That lovely blue, and you can see it has got that slightly grey smoky tinge to it, which I really like. So I am going to hopefully make up quite a few things in that yarn. I've started one already. This is in a darker pink colour. Let's see if I can show you that. Oh, that's it. That's about it. A little bit lighter than perhaps it's showing up, but it's really lovely. And I've started making a scarf, and using, this is a really simple stitch, so this is a double crochet or a single crochet if you're in the US, and I'm just doing like a back loop, front loop, I suppose repeated pattern, and it's come out looking like that. And then I had a little kind of play at the ends here because I wanted it to have tassels, and what I've done is I've used some vintage fabric, so it's just a bit of 1960s vintage bedding that I found, bed sheet, and I've cut it into strips there using pinking shears, and just created, sort of blended it in with the wool itself, and then just kind of made some tassels out of it. And I absolutely love this. So this is probably going to be for me, and it is something that I want to release a pattern on because I think it's quite unusual to have that sort of tassel at the bottom or at the end. So that's coming along really nicely, and I really like that one. Okay, so this yarn here, the lighting is so unbelievably bad, it's making me angry now. I have to look, because as you move, it's horrible. So this next yarn that I'm showing you has been a complete revelation. I wasn't sure about it when I first saw it, but then I touched it and it feels really soft and spongy, and it's called Pixel, P-I-X-L-E. This colourway I think is called, oh, is it something to do with, oh, I can't remember now. Oh, I had it a moment ago. It's not turmeric. There's one that I'm showing you soon that's called turmeric. It's not butterscotch. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to look it up and show you. Right, where can I look it up? Butternut. I almost said butternut squash, and then I thought, no, that's too long, that doesn't sound right. But yeah, it's called butternut, and it's just the most delicious colour ever. It's kind of mustard, but not quite, and I don't know how well you can see, but if you look up close, it's got tiny little white and cream flecks in it. It's absolutely stunning. It's vibrant. It is the colour of kind of the inside of a butternut squash or a pumpkin or something like that. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be great for autumn or fall crochet work and knitting. So what I've done with it so far is, and I had so many ideas for it because it's just so amazing. It's so soft, even just feeling this, it's so soft. So far I've made a little coaster out of it, and I've used this sort of long treble crochet, which would be a long double crochet if you're in the US, just to make this little coaster here. And I have written the pattern down for that one, so that one will appear on the website soon. And then I've just started, so my fingers are absolutely covered in blue ink because I tell you my little story behind that, and it's ridiculous. It's me trying to save some money. So I have a Canon printer, and like with all printers, it's the ink that's really expensive, isn't it? Not the actual printer itself. And so it's run out of ink. It's done that thing where it's run out of one colour, and then the whole printer decides, well, we're not going to print anything because we don't have blue ink, even though what you're printing is just requires black ink. And I hate that about printers. So ages ago, I bought this little kit in Asda where you inject ink into your ink cartridge, and you have to sort of drill a hole into the plastic, and I'm not even going to go into it because it's such a dull story about printer ink, but needless to say, I'm covered in blue ink. I have a tea towel that's covered in blue ink, and I don't have a working printer, and I don't have a blue ink cartridge. So it all just went hideously wrong, and I've just ordered some ink on Amazon. Anyway, I just thought I'd explain because as I'm holding things up, I'm like, inky fingers. So yeah, so what was I saying? Yes, so placemat. Looking at making 4 placemats and 4 little coasters to go with that, so it's like a little table set, dining set. And I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to need. I think I might need at least 1 more ball of it, but I absolutely love it. In fact, I'm going to stick my neck out. I'm looking at everything that I'm using, and I'm kind of going to have this a star yarn of the fortnight because I really love it. I wonder if, yeah. We'll figure out the lighting. If you've watched any of my other videos, I have another channel where I just, talk a lot about some other stuff that I do. Lighting is always a really big issue for me because I need to invest in some proper softbox lighting for doing videos, but I haven't done as yet. Because it's a money thing, isn't it? It's a money thing. You've got to be careful with your money. That is, how many projects has that been? Has it been 3 projects? 3 projects. I've got way more than 3 projects. So let's, oh, this one's quite interesting. It's quite interesting because again it's a yarn that I'm experimenting with. So this is King Cole Riot Chunky. It's kind of, the ball has fallen apart, which is not great, but it's a variegated yarn. It's got a colour change in it, and the colour change is like a really, it's not the ball of wool, is it? It's me. It's me, it's my handling. It's my handling of the balls. It's not good. You can see that it's got a really dark toned rainbow effect, which I really like. So I have started making a skinny scarf in it, and I'm hoping that I'm going to make, it would help if I showed you, wouldn't it? It would help if I showed you. So where are we? Yeah, so a long skinny scarf in rainbow colours. Not really necessarily for anything or anyone. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. Oh, look at that. Whoa, that looks good. Sorry, I've not really seen it stretched out like that with the light hitting it. That's pretty amazing. That looks really good. We might have to have 2 yarns of the fortnight. But again, this is, I think, a very similar stitch, although not quite the same, very similar stitch to the one that I've used on the other scarf, because I really like playing around with desperately simple stitches like a double crochet or a single crochet. If I need to stop saying that. If you're in the US, you know what I mean. Double crochet is a single crochet across the pond. And I don't know whether to put tassels on the end, but yeah, so I wanted this to be like a long skinny scarf, so it's one that you wrap around quite a few times, maybe sort of 3 times in total. I've used 1 ball of yarn already to get it to, where's my join? There. So 1 ball of yarn does that amount of it. So I think I'm probably going to have to buy another 2 to 3 balls of yarn. So, but luckily it's not too expensive. I don't find that King Cole yarn is too expensive, and that looks way better than I thought it did. I'm really pleased with that. Let's just show you some yarn that I picked up. So this lovely little yarn bag my mum made for me. It's got lots of sort of Art Deco imagery on it, and it's really cute. It's really good for balls of wool, and it's really good to sort of carry things around with you. So what I wanted to show you was, I went into Poundland, and I don't know if you've been to Poundland before and seen the wool that they have there. The vast majority of it is that proper cheap looking bright garish colours where it looks like the dye hasn't really like got into the wool properly. It's just really horrible. It's not good, but I always have a little look because occasionally something really lovely crops up, and I found these, and these were 3 for £2, which I didn't think was too bad at all. It's a chunky, or super chunky it says on there, it looks more like a chunky to me, but anyway, in these lovely burgundy maroon colour. It's a little bit tweedy because it's got the little flecks in it, and I suppose colours like this tend to be grouped as like heathers, don't they? Heather colours. So I don't know what I'm going to make with that. If you've got any suggestions, then let me know. So what have I got? I've got a granny square blanket on the go. I've got a scarf. I've got 2 scarves on the go. I've got the coaster placemat set. I don't know what, I haven't got a hat on the go at the moment. I could make a hat out of these. I'm not sure, but if you have any suggestions, then do let me know. This is another Wendy with Wool project. I think I love these massive, I need to stop saying massive balls. I really need to stop saying massive balls because it just makes me giggle. It's just a childish humour. Very childish humour. So this is going to be a shawl. So I also have a shawl on the go, or a wrap. Shawl makes it sound really granny. Although I'm quite granny in my taste anyway, you can probably see from my slightly granny-ish jumper that I've got there. So yeah, so this is a simple filet stitch. It's actually that way up really, isn't it? And I'm going to, so it will wrap around like that, just kind of around here. I want to make it a little bit deeper, but not loads deeper. And what I'm going to do along the bottom, so this will be the bottom edge of it, is I want to put really, really long tassels on there, almost so it has a bit of a, oh, was a bit of an interruption from the light there, how dare it. So it has a real kind of 70s boho look about it, and then I'm hoping that what I'll be able to do is just fling it on over summer dresses and things in the sort of spring, summertime, in the evenings when it gets a bit cooler. This is the turmeric yarn. This one, I'm gonna be really disappointed if I can't hold it in a place where I can get the real colour of it to show through. This was my favourite mustard yarn from last year. I think I discovered it because, I mean, I love mustard coloured yarn anyway, and it's, you know, it's kind of had this huge revival, hasn't it? And it's all over Instagram, all the mustard yarn. There is a mustard yarn Instagram account, for heaven's sake. And I absolutely loved it, and I really do love the kind of the rich golden, darker, deeper mustardy shades. That's the word I'm going for, mustardy shades. I really, really do love those. But I found a yarn that, so I'm just picking a bit of fluff off what I'm about to show you because I don't really want that on there. It's because it's actually been on the floor while it's been waiting to be picked up. I found a yarn that is basically the colour of Coleman's mustard. So if you are from the UK, you're going to know what I'm talking about here. It is a zingy, bright, intense mustard. Let's see what colour this looks. Oh, actually, I think it's good. I think we're going to be okay. I think it's kind of going to show it. It is. Yep. That's not bad. Oh, yep. That's it. That's the colour of it. That's pretty much spot on right there. As I move it around, you'll see that it will probably change a lot. I used a really simple stitch that gives lots and lots of texture on this cushion. And again, it was one where it's just that double crochet being used in front loops or back loops, or a combination of both, or whatever, just to get the really lovely texture. And I've got the pattern for this written down. I just need to adjust the sizing slightly. You can see that I went a bit wrong, and it's slightly too rectangular for the square cushion, so I just need to knock, I think I worked out it was 2 rows off the pattern. And oh, it's just this again, this is sensational. I'm gonna end up with more than one yarn of the fortnight, I can tell. What have we got so far? We had I might actually get you guys to choose because these are all so good. So we had this butternut Wendy Pixel yarn. This was the first one that I kind of said, oh, yarn of the fortnight, because it's absolutely amazing, it's gorgeous. So there's that one. Then we had the whole incident of when I actually saw what this scarf looks like, just with a little bit more perspective and from a distance. That was pretty amazing. So that might be yarn of the fortnight. And then this, what wool was this? This was, I don't know, I think this might be Wendy Chunky with wool as well, because that's the Aran one. I think this was Wendy with wool chunky or super chunky, something like that. I will put all of the links in the description, so I'll make sure that I go back and check properly, because I have got things written down because I forget things. So there's this, so we've got butternut, the rainbow king cole one, or we have got this amazing turmeric, or as I like to think, Coleman's mustard coloured yarn there, and they're absolutely flipping amazing. They're really, really good. My final project that I'm going to share with you today, and this is something that I really want to do a tutorial on, is this. It's got that slightly 70s boho natural decor look to it, which I really like anyway, and it's made out of 100% cotton yarn and some garden twine, and it's just freehand crochet, so there's no pattern for it. You just sort of like you feel your way, and you work out, depending on how the fabric is behaving, whether it's starting to curl up and form a bowl shape, or whether you want a wider, bigger sort of circle. You just do it by eye, do it by kind of do it freehand, and you just end up with all of these amazing different sized bowls or plant pots. Actually, if you bring the sides up higher, You could have it as a plant pot. They are, you know, you can bung them in the wash because it's just twine and cotton and things. You can boil them up if you needed to clean them. And I just absolutely love these, and I want to create more of them, not just for indoor house plants and things, but actually to go outside as well. So those are my current projects that I'm working on at the moment, and I tend to not be able to work on one project at a time. I'm one of these people where my mind flits about the place and I kind of have to pick up what I'm in the mood for, so I can't even tell you which one of those will be finished next fortnight when I see you again. Hopefully I can turn some of those patterns into tutorials so that they can kind of go to the website, come back over here, and I will be able to show you how to crochet some of these pieces for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in more crochet news and updates, if you want to check out my fledgling website and be there when the patterns arrive, then all the information you need is down below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so that you'll be informed in a couple of weeks when the next video goes up. Thank you very much. I'll see you again soon.